We did see some Airbnbs because we just didn't know. So we looked at some Airbnbs that were really nice, and then we were like, I don't know if there's gonna be heat because it's gonna be cold, and we
Yeah.
were kind of like nervous about that
Right.
because I know some people said to, make sure there's heat or AC and things like that. So we were like, well, let's just ask Talia about, what we should do as far as should we just stay in a hotel or should we go? And I
Correct.
know some of the hotels it was hard because once you have four people in a hotel room,
It
Chase is
requires you to
considered an
get to,
adult,
yeah.
then, so, but then some of them we were able to find that we can get to four of us in one room.
hmm So
Okay.
price wise, like budget wise, I think it was like upwards of maybe like 200 a
Or
night max
250,
or 250
300
a
a night.
max,
Yeah.
just about per night.
Um, I do think getting four people in one hotel room might be a little bit more challenging in Porto.
hmm
Um, there are rooms like there's kind of like a mix between hotel and places that operate like hotels, but they have more apartments.
Yeah.
One of them, condos. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I'll look it up and I'll send it.
Okay.
Okay.
There's one that comes to mind. I think it's Condas. I can't remember, but there are a few places like that, like FLH, Memoria Porto, I believe,
hmm
and maybe the Icon Duplo that are in good areas, are historic. So they have a little bit of that architecture, even though they're modern, renovated properties.
hmm
And I think you might be able to get two rooms that fit within your budget of the
Okay.
Okay.
200 to 300 per night.
Okay.
So after our call, I'm going to take a look, and in the email that I'll send you afterwards, I'll include a link or two to either of those places. Um, I'm trying to remember if there's any other ones that I would suggest. But yeah, if you're looking to stay with kind of a central area, maybe
hmm
not Ribera directly, but the area surrounding it, I think FLH, Memoria, and Porto, the Icon Duplo, and the other one that I can't remember the name of, that I'll remember after this call. I think
I
those are
know that
Okay.
always happens.
It
Like,
does. It does. Okay.
perfect. Um, and then any other questions about your first day in Porto or anything like that?
Um, yes. So are there, I know it's around the holidays. And I think you said in Lisbon they have the markets for the holiday markets. So we definitely want to see that. Is there anything in Porto that has, and will it be open at that time? Because we're, coming in that last week of Thanksgiving. Will it be open?
Yeah, I do think it will be open. So for example, Wonderland Lisboa, which is the big market that happens in the Eduardo Park, I
hmm
believe they opened this year the last week of November, so you guys
Okay.
will definitely have at least that market. And I do think most of the other Christmas markets, there's a couple in Porto. There's one usually not too far from the Intercontinental Hotel.
Oh,
hmm
okay.
So maybe in that square. I do think they start around the last week of November, so there is a chance that when you guys are in Porto, there will be at least a couple of markets there.
Okay.
Understand.
So yeah, I don't think they all wait until December 1st. So I think you should be able to see some decorations, some markets, some stores decorated, a few trees.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
I
Yeah.
would say Portugal doesn't go as all out for Christmas as maybe Boston or New York or London, but there are beautiful decorations, there's small markets, and so you should be able to see at least a few.
Oh, cool.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
And I also noticed you had try Francesinha on your list of things that you wanted to try on
Yes.
November 28th. Francesinha is definitely like it's a hefty one. I probably get like one or two for all four of you guys,
Uh-huh.
but I tried a place. A lot of them it's for like it's a very specific taste, but I'm
Okay.
gonna put in my email Brasão Aliados because I've tried a couple of francesinhas in Porto and this was the most like delicious one.
Okay.
Francesinha is not up to my taste, but this was the most delicious one, so I'll go ahead and put that in the email so that you know where to go.
Okay. Hmm.
Perfect. And
I
then
can't
the
wait to try that stuff.
29th looks really cool with all the places that you guys are visiting. Crystal Palace Gardens are fantastic.
hmm
Um, I think you can pick a specific seller and just book directly with them. So whether that's Graham's or Cockburn's, or even cupcake. I think if you just pick one of the sellers,
Okay.
that should be perfectly fine. And you can take an Uber or a Bolt from Porto to Gaia to go to one of the tastings,
Okay,
Okay.
one
will
of
our
the
kids
port
be totally
tastings.
bored out though? Will they be bored?
Pardon?
Will the boys kind of be like, this is boring?
Like,
Should
what is
we?
this?
I was like, should that was like a maybe on our list because I was like, oh, I don't know if the kids are gonna be like, what is this?
Yeah, yeah. Well, are they interested in like wine
No,
or things?
no.
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's probably they do create like they do pour juices and things like that for kiddos, but yeah, it might not be the best thing for them. So maybe don't book that tour in that case. And
Okay,
just kind of leave that afternoon open. I think the Crystal Palace Gardens are going to be lovely. And
okay.
then in the evening, if you guys are looking for just really beautiful, if you know the day is nice.
Hmm.
Um, Going up to the Louis the First Bridge, which is the big bridge that you will see
Yes.
in Porto, going to the top and watching sunset is probably one of my favorite things. It's really, really beautiful from there.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
that'll
Yes.
be
And you'll
nice.
probably get some really lovely shots of Porto as well.
Yes.